Little bit one time.
A little bit one time. That's going to be your new tag. Your new slogan. And welcome back to a very, very, very special episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Hey.
So here we are in the studio, first time. And who else would we have live in person than that mom with a laser?
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Thanks for coming.
Going. Like, I'm just totally loving this.
Isn't it crazy?
This is awesome.
It's I can't even believe it. I have to pinch myself all the time.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Went into this.
Literally.
Yeah.
And dedication.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The fact that we're not the only ones in the game anymore.
What do you mean? Oh yes, there's new podcasts.
There's new people jumping in the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing. You know, you can listen to how many movies don't you watch? How many TV shows don't you watch?
Oh, just turned off.
Oh well. Still working out some bugs.
Yep. But I mean, people listen while they're working, and they're not working for an hour,
right?
So they need more than one.
Yeah. So
we're definitely the funniest, though. I'm just gonna.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The original, that one too?
No way. What's going on here?
So we had more than just this camera when we started, but now all we have is this camera.
Okay, that works.
For some reason,
Yeah.
It's all right. We got this.
It's our first episode, so that's
so bear with us.
That's what it is.
It's only up from here, right?
Huh? We can only go up.
Listen, you fail forward, but I don't think we're failing at all here. We're totally winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny for all the tests we had at least
one camera,
one of these extra cameras, and now we don't.
And now the other one's like, oh, the other one's out. Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
so why do I have to work?
This one's gonna. That's gonna be our main
hold
down the floor for us, right?
Yeah. That one. I hope I didn't jinx it, but
right.
But yeah. So
I'm feeling so nostalgic right now watching you guys. Like, we've come so far.
We have.
All of us together.
Yeah.
How does it feel to
It's
have
so
your
special.
face on the side of a
van?
Coolest thing ever.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie. And it's the sweetest thing. Like, we went up on Friday.
Speak a little closer to the mic. Yeah,
you got it.
You're good. You're good.
So we drove up for our last summer vacation. Thank goodness. Like, I'm already on my third tangent now.
Yeah.
In this thought process with you guys. So we went on our last family vacation, and on the drive down from St. Augustine, we stopped at Melbourne so I could, go hang out at Eon, because that's like my favorite place to hang out. And it's just so sweet, because when we drive, into like the parking lot, the kids are like, "That's mommy! Look at mommy! Mommy, you're gonna go work on the wazers?
Wazers.
I might dance around them."
Yeah.
So it is really neat. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to you personalize a few lasers while you're there, right? You sign the crates.
It is so sweet how that is turning into a thing.
Like a thing,
people really want me to do it, you know? And I'm like it's funny because, Crystal knows. I'm always like, I don't want this to feel like people think I'm being boastful or something.
Right,
I'm not, but people genuinely want me to sign their crates. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to post it up on my stories. So when I go up there, it's always random because it's always around the kids' schedules and my husband's schedule.
And is this weekend free? Does it make sense?
So I'm actually going back up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? So I put a post up and I was like, I'm going to be there. If your laser's being worked on and you want me to sign it, let me know.
Right,
so it's really sweet. It's fun.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to come up with other things to sign the crate with, because I'm like, what else can I tell them about?
Right.
There's one guy, actually, he just messaged me this morning that he is in Miami and that he's Cuban. And I'm like, I got to come up with something fun and Cuban to wrap.
Fun and Cuban.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll come to me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, but just thinking back from where we all started and how we were joking, we were looking for TikTok and reel ideas, and how you found one of how you were literally just, sliding into my DMs at 11 o'clock at night asking me all these laser questions and
but
that
that's
kind of stuff. But
talking about new people in the pool and things coming about, it's just, it's really incredible to see how things have exploded into a point where now that this is an industry. It's been around for a long time,
Right, yeah.
but the laser engraving industry is now coming up to speed with the new social media content creation world.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of spiraled out of control. Like, we really are our own niche, and it's really cool to see, to be able to be part of the beginning and watch it explode.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And part of that started with me and your DMs at midnight.
Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, what's up, Emily?
It's her again. Why did Mindy ever tell you I existed?
It was great, though.
Do the listeners know that story?
I think so. I think we've talked about it probably on like the first podcast that we had you on. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to.
I just love that story.
People,
so
yeah,
if I get it right, because sometimes I needed a cake topper.
Yes.
Right, and I didn't have any acrylic.
Well, and they wanted a silhouette of their kid.
They wanted a silhouette of their kid doing like a karate kick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah.
That was I was just like, I was brand new.
Yeah.
And then Mindy got me in touch with you.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I don't even know how that worked out. But
I don't know.
You were a godsend.
Thank you.
And you have been ever since.
Ditto. It's been great.
My crystal.
Don't start crying.
No, no.
So really quick, I'm sure everyone knows they've heard you last time, but like, how'd you get your start? How long have you been in this now?
So I've been in this now, 2019 is when it all really went down.
Yeah.
And at the time, I know that the laser wait times have been out of control since the pandemic. Back then, it was like a 2-month wait to get my laser. And it started because of Mindy. I have known Mindy for a long time. And she showed up on my Facebook feed. At the time, Facebook was the only thing I knew how to use. Yeah. You know, like, people think that I'm like a social media guru these days.
Right.
Yeah, my friends used to laugh at me because I could not wrap my head around what a story was on Instagram and whatever. Anyhow, so I saw her post a sign. I was like, oh my gosh, that is nothing like what she has made in the past. And I messaged her and I was like, what is that?
Right.
How'd you do that? Yeah. And she's like, I got a laser. As if I knew what that was. Right. Like, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, great.
Nice. Yeah, totally know what those
are.
And
you know, it's crazy because Amazon, they're always listening.
This part of the story.
They showed. I was on Amazon and something looked like a device that could be this laser thing.
There you go.
Better?
Yeah.
Could be this laser thing that Mindy was talking about. So I took a screenshot and I sent it to her and I was like, is this what you're talking about? I don't even know. Maybe it was a diode.
It was a diode.
And she's like, no, I got a Glowforge. I was like, oh, okay. And I look up Glowforge and and then I just, I think a lot of us go through this experience where we see what a laser is and what it can do, and then it consumes our mind. Yes, we cannot sleep. Obsessed about all the things that we can do with it. Yes. Yep. And so, finding the courage to tell my husband that I wanted this thing out of the blue. And then one thing led to another. I started looking into lasers. I found Eon up in Melbourne, and it was only 2 hours away. How many people... Most people in our industry do not have the luxury to see these machines in person. Yeah, no. Did you see your Glowforge before you bought it?
Absolutely not.
I don't think Heather did either, right? No. I think she, No. And so
I got to have like any kind of storefronts or anything like that. Yeah, they're in like Michael's now, but they weren't then. Yeah. So
it's not like you can just go to a total random stranger's house and see one or whatever.
Well, Mindy did. That's how I met Mindy.
Yeah.
She posted in the Glowforge user group and was like,
and she came to see her.
She was, bless you.
I love Mindy.
And she was like, is any South Florida, I want to put it in my garage. And I was like, nah, don't put that in your garage. Because the temperatures for the Glowforge were so very specific that if it got too hot, you couldn't use it at all. And I'm like, it's South Florida. Like,
right.
And then she had messaged me and she saw how close we were. We were literally like 20 minutes away from each other. So then she comes to my house and and then like, I remember she said Nick was like, "Are you nuts? You're just going to some random person's house to see their laser?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then she looked us up, of course, and background checked us, and made sure we weren't sketch. But yeah, that's how I met her. But yeah, it's not typical.
I was going to say, I bet
great though.
Well, yes,
because you can post that, and you will see a million people who say, "Come on by, I have this or I have that."
True.
And so it's not like uncommon, but
right. In those days for me though, I didn't know about those groups. Like she was already in the groups. Like I found that after I met Mindy, and then she's the one that told me about the groups, and that's how I started finding out about stuff. So anyhow, I got to see a Glowforge in person, and then I drove up and I saw an Eon in person. Then I was like, oh, I want that one.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of where the story started to take off, because I had Crystal and Mindy to kind of help me put stuff together, like learn how to use 3M and how to save it. You're the one that taught me the trick of how you
the rectangle
trick. And but then when it came to how to actually like operate the machine, Crystal was like, no, I can't
she's using all these words that I didn't know that like Glowforge users typically don't know, and she's like something about the gantry, and I was like, the fuck is a gantry? I don't know.
So that's just kind of where it took off, and I'm so grateful that I had that I have you guys, that we have each other, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. I was like going into the other groups and getting, don't get mad at me for saying this, but I got mansplained all the time.
Oh yeah, totally.
And,
it was so bad.
It was upsetting, and I was like, damn it, I bet if there was a space for women with these kinds of machines, they really appreciate it, because the Glowforge groups were full of it, and I loved all the pretty things they were making. They weren't engraving guns and making flags. They were making nursery signs,
teacher
and I could connect with that. Yeah.
Totally.
So I started the YouTube channel, and then from there, it really just spiraled out of control.
Well, now
there are laser
Eon brand ambassador and shit.
My face is on a van.
Right. Yeah. On both sides of the van.
On both sides.
not on the back, as we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's been pretty cool. It's been awesome. Yeah. And now there's laser podcasts and it's like this whole little world. It's cool.
And it's growing.
Yeah. I would have never, ever, ever believed anybody if they told us like, oh, this is what you're going to be doing in a few years with your laser. Like, okay.
See, but this is the beautiful thing about believing in yourself and taking those leaps of faith, because you never know what kind of door is going to open if you don't take the first step.
Right.
So, for many of us, the laser was it was the beginning of opening our eyes into another world that was now available to us.
Totally.
Yep. And
it's finding that right tool and that right, like, I guess, niche kind of, because like I had a silhouette and I was making all the t-shirts, but I was like, this is not my life. I could only be so creative with t-shirts, and I didn't want bless you. We school's out and we have no sitter, so we also have a kid in here on the side.
He's
so good.
He's
so
doing
good.
great. The other one's at daycare. Yeah. But just I'd see people make the signs with like stencils and stuff, and it looked like such a pain in the butt, because like trying to get that stencil down like perfectly so that you don't have any seepage, and then if you do have seepage, then cleaning it up. And I was like, that it just, all of the like crafts that weren't t-shirts with the silhouette just didn't really appeal to me. And
True,
so,
but it, in its defense, and I think I was listening to Alicia's podcast.
Yeah.
Right? She was talking about how it's kind of like the gateway, the silhouette and the cricket,
jug,
right?
Yeah.
We all had one. And it starts to open doors slowly but surely, but then the laser like opens doors that are like,
I mean, it freaking explodes. Like the door blows off as soon as you get a laser.
Yeah, and then you have to pull back, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
You start learning about all these other types of machines that you can do to maximize production and create these products and make money. And it's like, oh my gosh, now I want the UV printer, and I want the sublimation printer, and I want the fiber laser, and I want the CNC machine. I just want them all. I just want to. But
speaking of fibers, can we have a tangent real quick on the Eon fibers? Can you tell me
are
a
those
little
not
bit
insane?
About that? It's literally the laser is the size of our studio.
There's lasers.
Oh,
it's like holy cannoli. Like, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I do remember when
Riley Black exclusive. Other podcasts don't have this.
I will tell you this, and this is part of the reason why I was so enthusiastic and proud to become a brand partner. I mean, a brand ambassador with Eon Laser is because I get to see a lot of the things that they're doing behind the scenes. And when you get to see that, you're like, wow, this is really special. This is really legit. These people are real. And where they're taking this thing is, I will follow them to the moon. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you guys, hold on to your horses because it's coming.
And they're a great company. Like,
all of it together. It's the kind of company they do the right thing even when nobody's watching.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, Danny's cool people.
Cool people. Yeah. So anyhow, I remember when he said that he had invested in like this extremely expensive laser and that it could do all these things with metal, and that was like 2 years ago. You know, they're just getting them now. They had to build them and make them, and so to see all of that, and that's huge. Yeah. You know. So anyhow, I was up there.
He said he's gonna make something for the studio.
Oh,
out of metal.
So cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So I know that initially, now this could have changed, and I think this is okay because they told this to us at the Eon party last year that they're bringing these huge fiber lasers here, and that they would like to eventually be able to. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology, but lower the barrier of entry for their Eon customers if they want to provide sell metal products. Like I can design a file and eventually one day send it to Eon and buy at wholesale that file cut into metal and then sell it to my customers. And this is just one thing. I don't know if it's that was the plan.
Right.
Okay, that could change.
Things have changed.
But there's a lot of plans for them. So anyhow, I think I counted. There were like 3 really big ones and then one
smaller, medium size.
Still really big, but not as big.
Yeah.
And they were cutting some metal plates because they have these huge beams that they need. I don't know. They were just doing smart people stuff.
Nerd stuff.
I just got to watch it. It was phenomenal. I mean, the same speed that we cut, with the wood, it was just cutting through really thick metal. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was intense. And they're flying in people from across the world that have, special skills with these kind of machines. And like, they're very serious about what they're doing. So
I love it.
Yeah, they have big plans.
Cool. You have big plans.
It's cool to see them grow as well.
For sure. Speaking of, because I don't want to forget, the studio is like 99% finished.
Yeah, we're missing some decor pieces. Some promised pieces.
One big, I'll call it a decor piece, is the sign that I'm going to make for our biggest sponsor. And that was Ryan. I'm going to kill it. Sprouts. Ryan, don't kill me. I don't remember your business name. But we're going to turn his business logo into a sign that's going to be in the shots of the studio because he donated $500 to our studio. Right?
Yeah.
Nice. So we are eternally grateful for him and everyone who supported us just
along
because
the way.
I love it.
It makes the difference. It makes, us being able to do so. So that will be done. And then we need our own logo. So Ryan, you're not alone because we don't even have our own.
Have our logo.
I mean, it's on our shirts, but it's not in any of our decor. So I'll be working on that too. Because it was like a couple weeks away. And then all of a sudden it was tomorrow. I was like, oh shit. that sign that I didn't do yet. But
it all came together.
Do you see the balloon dog?
I love the balloon. It's so cute.
I don't know if you can see it on camera, but he's pooping.
Oh my goodness. And so tell me about these little pieces. Like why did you decide on what you got?
Okay, so I just really liked these candles.
Yeah.
They're little flameless candles and they were pretty in red. Mm-hmm. The crystal, of course, because, I'm Crystal.
Makes sense.
He's cute. He was originally for JR for in the house.
Was he?
For his candy.
But it worked really well in here, so we stole it. And then the balloon dog, we got a regular balloon dog.
So cute.
And that was a whole thing because that the first one arrived broken in 2 pieces. The second one arrived in 3 pieces. The third one arrived in the wrong color. And then the fourth one finally arrived in one piece. And then I didn't even end up using it because then I found this one.
You found this guy.
Yeah. Well, and then the color was a little off. It wasn't like a deep red. It was kind of like a muted red. And I was like, And then cool. I've always wanted, because it's normally coffee color and like a white mug or black mug or whatever. And I was like, what if we do this in black and red? And now it kind of looks like...
Wait, how did you had it made?
Yeah, from Etsy, of course. I think it's Dorky Designs on Etsy. I'll have to look. But what I told John, I was like, it's kind of like I'm pouring out the paint that I don't use.
I'm like looking at it.
You're getting some of the red splash on your face. Yeah. So that's bad.
But yeah, so did you hear that this is a representation of me pouring out paint because I hate painting.
I like it.
that was my spin on it. But yeah, so
Makes
that's all
sense.
the...
Oh, look, is that the dull one?
Yep.
Yes, that's the one that... Yeah,
that's
right?
much better. Right?
Exactly. And it's more us because it's like...
Super awesome
goofy.
table.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's
the table
talk about
is
the
fabulous.
Table. That's from Levi Harper. They're local to, I don't know if it's South Florida, but Jupiter.
Okay.
So, but they were amazing. We did have, as you guys know, we had like the issue that the first time it arrived, it was not how we had pictured it. And they were very understanding. They came and got it like a day or two later. They had a vacation lined up, so they had to, like strip it all and try again.
You need to have a podcast studio photo shoot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's our that's the plan.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Because our other podcast branding photos were literally on a couch because that's what we were doing.
You know what though? You're gonna look back and you're
totally.
like,
yeah.
Like, and if you look at if you watch, I think it was episode 42 was actually on YouTube because that's when Heather came.
Yep, and we did one in person.
Impromptu at our dining room table.
Yeah. Like, I look back at my old YouTube videos and they make me cringe.
Yes,
right.
I told him my most popular YouTube video that only it's like 3,000 views, but it's a lot for my channel, my little channel. It's my worst video. There's what do you call the like blurred sides? Is that like a term for that?
Wings. Yeah, wings.
There's like two of them. It's so bad because I did it like on my phone, vertically, and like so that it's just it's so bad. And I warned him, I'm like, this is gonna be bad, but I just want to get this like.
That's what we got.
There.
Yeah, you did it like an in shot, I think.
Yeah, an in shot, the free in shot, and I also was really new to in shot, so I didn't know like. Yeah, and I didn't want to wait for him to record it for me. I just wanted. I was, feeling recordy.
Well. It's like I still like even though they're bad in our opinion, right? Because they still provide a lot of value for people that do watch them. I just look back and I'm like, I remember starting in my guest room and like there wasn't a lot of space, and I hated that the background was blue. I wanted it to be like either pink or white, and like I was always trying to angle. I would push my laser back and forth so that I could get like a decent background angle. Anyhow, it's just you look back and I'm glad you have the photos and the video Yeah. That's great. Yeah. With our girl Heather.
Right.
Yep.
Who
can we?
I mean she posted it on her own page.
She said it?
On her personal page. She was looking for realtors.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
I'll ask her, and if we're not allowed to say, we'll cut it out.
We'll cut this out.
All right.
But
well, if we are allowed, I love you, Will, but take that.
Heather's moving to Florida.
Oh.
You didn't see the exchange on Facebook?
No, I didn't.
We were literally all fighting over Heather. Will and Callie.
Will wanted her in California?
In California. We're fighting for her.
Well, it's her fault.
Wait, Will, California? Really? Come on.
That's what I said.
Her bestie's over here.
Right. And I go, Heather doesn't want to live by California rules. Exactly.
No. Hey. I told Crystal, we're a red state.
Yeah. Well, and
red and black. Red and black state.
Well, and then Will messaged her and he goes, "You don't want to move to California." Like even
it was a lot of fun to
to like fight over her. Yeah. And then she just kind of had to convince her mom, because both her and Heather, her and her mom don't love the heat. So, and obviously, as you know, it's South Florida and there's a lot of heat. She was like, like, but she eventually was like, I don't leave the house. So she's like, I don't feel like it should 100% be up to me. And then once I told her, I was like, you go from AC to AC. Sure, there's a couple minutes there where it's a little hot and you're sweating and you get back in the car and you have the AC. Right.
So it was nice being a part of the Riley Black Project while I had a chance. Because I have a feeling once she moves here, I'm out.
I told John, I was like, Heather's really considering Florida. And he goes, well, it was fun being on the podcast. Well, he's like, I guess I'm the producer now.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, but I can't even imagine, like, just being able to, like, all meet up and do content and, like
wrap my head around.
We're going to need a bigger table. And more mics.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, and
a bigger studio.
Yes. One day.
Well, and that's what I mean. We've even talked about that of like, can you imagine when this is just our starter studio when we go to like the next place? And I'm like, I'm sure that would probably change, but like moving on to the next studio, I want it like this, but just without our laundry in the background. You know what I mean? Like, I'd want it to look pretty much the same just because I love it so much of the, we really we looked at so many things, like ideas.
Listen, and just coming up with the layout is so time consuming.
Yeah.
Like,
and I found that I really like set design.
Yeah.
I really like,
set design.
Yeah. Because that's what this is. This is a set. It's not.
No, I love how you think of it that way. Like I'm thinking of it as like interior design, and you're that's kind of it's kind of neat.
Yeah. Well, because he had to do like all the lighting and like it's a whole thing.
Because interior design, you think about like when people walk in, what they see.
Yeah.
With set design, you got to
what's on the
see
camera.
what's going to be shown and everything. Like these shelves. This is partially.
It was a whole thing.
It's a whole thing because it's her idea. She wants the shelves.
Yes.
TV, this is where she wanted the shelves. I'm like, listen, that third shelf, you're not going to see.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we had to finagle some angles and stuff to show that third shelf because
I'm like, you gotta see all the shelves.
Yeah. But then your head is like, there's all this space, dead space, just to see a shelf.
Yes.
Can I tell you that I'm already thinking, I'm like, I need John to go to the warehouse and put these lights up in the warehouse. Because just thinking about setting up the warehouse has given me so much anxiety. Because it's not just, I could just set it up.
Right.
Right.
But and especially with your YouTube videos, you're going to want to think that kind of stuff that sure, it needs to be your office.
What's going to work
also
well
needs to
and
be
also look good on camera.
Exactly.
Hey, at this point, I want to have a nice background.
Well,
I
mean, you're starting with a blank slate, so now is the time to do it. That like you need to think about like not just shooting into a corner.
The
if you
office
have
has
to
been put together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, no, it hasn't been put together. The design has been put together.
Yeah.
I should take that back. There's a lot of. We're gonna have a paint party pretty soon. Yeah,
let me know. We'll be there. Content. Everything is content.
Pretty much. I mean, like
content.
Content is exhausting.
It
really is its own profession.
Yeah. Well, and then how much to share, how much not. You don't want to overshare your life.
Yeah.
You don't want, you want to keep certain things private.
Right.
But like, like this was extremely hard to keep quiet.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling. I showed you the reel that I made like last week of the reveal of the studio. And it's really, really hard for me not to
show
post
everybody.
It. Yeah. And to not, like, I've shared like with a couple people, with like my friends who are like way outside of like the studio and like, I sent it to MJ, one of our patrons.
Yeah.
And so like, I had to share it like with some people just to like get it out of my system. But
I will say this though, learning how to discipline yourself to not post immediately is so freeing.
Yeah.
Like we really, I know both of us really struggled with that a lot in the beginning. It's like, I have to post it right now.
Yeah. Well, and then you do, and then it gets 2 views, and you're like, no. Then I'm so glad that I got it out of my, that I got it out of my system, and now it's a dud.
Well, like there's this great sense of relief, like, oh, I don't have something for tomorrow, but I have stuff in my drafts.
Right.
And like that's what I really want to get better at. I mean, I'm sure all of us want to get better at that, but yeah.
What else we got?
I don't know, because studio stuff.
Well, let's talk about you're launching your second round.
Yeah.
Hello, we gotta talk about the
Laser Launch Academy.
Yeah. Enrollment opens tomorrow.
Yay! Which it'll be last week for them. But it'll still when does enrollment close?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. Don't cry. Well, because I'm saying, like, we're here. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
We were at the very beginning together.
Yeah.
You guys put together a studio.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys.
But wait a minute. Don't downplay it. Because we were just talking about your warehouse.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not downplaying.
No, I'm just saying you're so proud of just
you're
us.
Proud of us,
I am. When you're asking me about this course, and I remember when I had a vision for this course. 3 years ago when we were first meeting. I was like, why aren't there any courses in the industry?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been working on it for so long.
Well, and here I am. I had no vision for a course, and I thought you guys were freaking nuts when you guys were trying to convince me to do one.
Well, Heather's just something else. Like, I'm so grateful that I told her that I was working on a course at all.
Yeah.
Because I was, not that I was dragging my feet, but it's a lot to juggle.
Well, no, you try.
We are entrepreneurs.
You try to get it perfect, and like you just there's something can always get in the way.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I don't know that I should probably be telling my people this, but like I was recording and editing and doing stuff up until like the wee hours of the content being like uploaded and like needing to be available for my students. But I had to. Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't have done it that way, I would have never released it because I would have never gotten around to it, and I would have re-edited and edited it to death and then, probably redone it. Like, hell, as it is now, I'd love to redo a good portion of it just because I'm a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, I did it that way. And I mean, they tell you kind of to do that because like you have people who paid money who are waiting for this content and kind of like forces you to get it together. And it did. And
well, here's the thing. I had been working on it, like coming up with the outline itself and making sure.
So much.
Fortunately,
making sure you don't forget anything, that you don't include too much.
Yes. Well, fortunately, people don't know this because it's not something that I don't advertise this because I would get swarmed if people knew. But I've lost count of how many people reached out to me over the years and asked me for help with Lightburn, and I've done like a private session with them for free. Yeah. And that gave me a lot of like real world experience as to what the
questions are.
Really needs.
Right.
There are little things that you don't think of unless you're actually watching a newbie do it, and you're like, and then when you see a lot of newbies do it over and over again. So anyhow, teaching a laser course is something I envisioned like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, now that it's here and the reception has been so positive, it makes me so happy when I have just the testimonies are wonderful.
Yeah.
I read some of them, they make me cry.
Yeah. I had one, a week or two ago, and she posted in, the course, Facebook group page, and she's like, I just sold my first file. And it was like, oh my God, you did that. And I helped you do that. Mm-hmm. And it's just so awesome to see them be like so proud of themselves, to learn something, to know, like one the other day, she was like, oh, I need to brush up my skills on curving text. Yeah. But she knew exactly where to go to get something to do, curved text for a laser design.
Yeah,
Not that it's like, like you can look on Silhouette, but like it's different for vinyl or for something printed or, whatever. So it's just,
I find
those
that
moments
those moments
are so great.
Are the most rewarding.
Oh, totally.
And I tell this to my students during the course. I'm like, you're not going to get it all right away.
Right.
Okay. Right. But you are going to know where to go when it happens.
Need a refresher.
You're going to be like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Right?
You may not remember the details, but you know where to go to find it all. Yeah.
Yes. So that you can finally apply it. Right. Yeah. So anyhow, the reception has been positive. So we're going to open it up again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this time, hopefully, enrollment won't sell out because we sold out within 24 hours last session. And I was a little nervous about this time around because I've been so consumed with being present in the course that I have been absent everywhere else.
Right.
Like TMWAL is around, but I'm not as around. I've seen my YouTube channel like dip in subscribers, and that's okay.
Right.
There were other more important things, right?
Right.
And what was it? I think one of your first podcasts, you had Marissa from Pearl and Pine on here, and she quoted Lizzie from the House of Timber. I hope I get that right.
Yeah.
But she said you have to decide which ball you're going to drop.
Right. Yeah.
I hear that expression in my head.
I remember, you can't juggle all the balls. You can't hold all the balls. I was like, you can't.
I know, even though we want to try, right?
Yeah.
And so I hear that expression and I'm like, it's okay. I can drop a ball here to catch the other one. And so anyhow, now the course is done and enrollment's going to open up tomorrow. I'm excited.
So when does it close?
The 11th, assuming that
Hopefully,
people don't break the system and like I panic and close it early.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And that was the hard part with the first round is, we kind of cut them off a little early, all of us, because it was like, we need to make sure that we, it's our first time.
Yeah.
We think we have an expectation of how it's going to go. And then it always goes a little bit differently than
you're
how
gonna
you
have
expect.
3 cameras and then you end up with just one.
Exactly. And so, then you do it and you're like, I'm glad, like, part of me kind of wishes that I had like a higher, like, limit and I didn't cut it off. But then I also think of the times when I'm panicking because technology isn't working and I'm trying to upload at 4 a.m.
Or like the back end of things,
and,
with enrollment and people need you to fix something here and do something there or something process
issues and
So anyhow, we played it safe.
Yeah.
And that was the wise decision.
Definitely.
I always say,
I agree.
Go slow to go fast.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's where we are. Course opens tomorrow. I'm excited.
Then, what are we're going to give something away next week.
Okay. But you have to figure out how we're going to do that. Right?
I don't know how we're going to do it.
We're going to do it.
So stay tuned if you're watching this. Check the social medias.
What are we giving away, Crystal?
We're both giving away enrollment.
Oh, we both are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So she was going to give one away, and I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, this is a good thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
Because I don't, typically when I give them away, it's like after purchase. So someone purchased, and then I'll
So this is before purchase giveaway?
So, yes.
All right.
So this is you don't have to buy the course first.
Okay. Is
no
this
purchase necessary?
Is this tier 1 or is it tier 2?
Tier 2.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
Is
Totally.
It's a big thing.
Deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So we
are
gotta give them the whole shebang.
Are we giving this away to YouTube subscribers?
Oh, that's see, but I don't know how to.
We don't know how we're doing it.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out.
You know what? Just to be safe, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Riley Blank Designs.
That may be a good prerequisite.
Make sure you like, comments, and hit that bell.
Light bulbs are going on.
I think that's what it is. This is our first time on YouTube, so I think that's what they say.
Well, listen. Okay, so
smash that like button.
I hate when people say that. I hate. You don't say that, do you? Do you say smash it?
Everybody says smash that like
button.
Why?
No, I don't. I'm not that cool. I don't say smash.
It's not cool. I don't like it. I don't know why.
I just say click the bell here, or sometimes the bell's here. Right. I always forget where I point. Then I have to change it when I'm editing.
Just click the bell.
Because I'm not going to put any of the fancy things that she puts in her videos, so it's going to be like down here somewhere.
If your wife has anything to do with it, she'll send you the fancy things that she wants you to.
No, listen, if you send me the file, that's fine. I'm not creating it. So it might be here, it might be there.
Promos
Wait,
just look for a bell and hit it.
light bulb moment. I want to
sorry.
Okay, so you know how we did the 30K giveaway in the Facebook group, and now StreamYard, which is the software
you can go live
I use,
on YouTube too, right?
I think so.
Yes, you
so
can.
What if
that's what Mark said?
What if we tell everybody? If you want to win,
yeah,
you have to go to the YouTube channel and you go live there.
Well, and they have to subscribe.
Yes.
You have to send me a screenshot.
If your name gets selected and we don't see that you're subscribed, then you can't
Then you don't win.
Okay, maybe we'll do something like that.
So I think that's a good idea.
We're still...
Yeah, I do have StreamYard though, and I know that you can go live in like several groups, including.
But the best
YouTube
part is that they can capture the names because you couldn't do that before.
Yes,
you'd have to manually input everything. So I avoided giveaways like the plague.
Yeah,
you know.
So like old giveaways, if you did them on like YouTube or Facebook Live or anything like that. You like a lot of people would be like, oh, the 300th comment or something like that they would choose afterwards. Right. Well, then you legit have to go through and you have to count 300 comments.
Right.
So with StreamYard, it's fancy because you tell it what like hashtag or phrase that people need to use to enter, and then you like hit like some button, you'll have to show me how the way to do it. And then it chooses someone and it shows it on the screen.
But don't do what I did.
Yeah. Oh my God. She totally got yelled at.
I
told you about that, right?
It's the first time.
Someone was a little impatient.
Yes.
Because there was more talking and less winning than
in the beginning. Yes. There was a lot of winning. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Anyhow, so I want to circle back to how we were talking about when you invested in the laser, it started to open doors. So even though what you thought you were going to do with your laser turned out to be something else, I find that, again, like, because of this opportunity and because of this experience with just getting a laser, we've had to learn how to do so many different skills. I feel just learning how to use a software like StreamYard to stream into a social media, platform. Like these are skills, guys. Our resume, not that we're applying it. I mean, I feel now like I'm a serial entrepreneur. There is no
there's nothing that you wouldn't give a second thought to.
But dang, my resume is awesome now. Right? Yeah. We know how to do so many things. Yeah. It's kind of cool. But Camtasia.
Well, even just when I like describe to people what I do, I'm like, oh, well, I have a file shop on Etsy. They don't understand. Yeah. I have a website where I sell keychain accessories. They kind of understand. We have a laser podcast. They kind of understand. Like all of those things.
Chica, you have a lot of things going on.
Right? It's almost too much.
A lot of plates.
There's a lot of balls. A lot of balls that I'm juggling. So, but none of these things were things that I set out to do.
Little bit one time.
A little bit. She says this to me all the time.
So I have an Italian neighbor, and I just love him. He's always working on lawns in the neighborhood, and he always sees us, my husband and I, because we just do a lot of stuff, and he always comes to me and he's like, little bit one time, little bit one time. So when I feel myself overdoing it, I hear him in the back of my head, Emily.
A little bit
one time. Yeah. But that's what we did. We did a little bit one time, and now we have a lot of bit.
Yeah, right. A lot of time.
But it's funny that you say that you don't know how to explain. Most of us don't.
No.
Most of us are like, oh, what,
I make
blah,
shit.
Blah, blah. But I was also thinking, what a blessing that we have so many things that we're doing and learning that we can't put it into a box, or we can't it's kind of cool,
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. And if you need help with your YouTube, get those numbers.
We need to get there. I haven't done any recording.
Okay.
It's all been the course.
Yeah.
But talking about.
Well, and I will say I can't wait for you to enjoy the second launch of your course, because although it was it wasn't she's doing it.
What am I doing? I wasn't supposed to.
Okay. No.
I'm not crying. I was hiding myself because I went hard.
Yeah. Well, oh my God. She would tell me, she's like, I'm doing this and I'm having illustrations and I'm having this. And I was like, Emily.
Emily.
I screen recorded my entire course. There's one or two modules where I actually included some camera work,
guys,
but for the most part,
I got influenza. There were,
oh my God,
the first 3 weeks,
literally
there were. It was 3 weekends where I pulled.
We call that the black cloud.
72-hour days. Yeah. I did not sleep.
72-hour days.
Yep.
72. I don't know.
It was only 24 hours.
I would stay up 2 nights in a row.
From the course.
I didn't remember, and I got influenza because I was working that hard.
Yeah, it was.
But I just went over the top.
What I'm saying is the second launch, although you may still make tweaks and additions, and it's nothing like the first one, and it's so nice to just be like, oh. The module is releasing, and I just get to sit back and wait for questions. It's so nice. And then same thing with our third launch. So which enrollment is open. Launch. By the way, it's crazy. Silhouette for lasers.com is one of them.
Amazing.
Yeah. Which there's more in the works for that too. Heather and I were tossing around a couple ideas of some options to add, and I plan on adding a mini course for a little bit cheaper option where it's just thinking just the first basic couple modules and one project lesson instead of like I have like 2.5 now.
Yeah.
Like and something like 8 lessons on projects. So
But that wouldn't have a Facebook group, or it would?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because it will be the cheaper option.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm tossing around. I'm open to all of it. If I do it with no Facebook group, I'm open to, if the people want the group, then I'll figure out the price for the group and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, just trying to move and adjust to what people need and what makes sense for us. And honestly, what comes down to is just helping more people. Because I understand, especially right now, how spending $400+ on a course, and yours is what, 6? You have a couple tier options, right?
When I made the course, I thought it was going to be a beginner course. But I put so much meat into it.
Yeah.
Well, and it feels like a master course.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
it really
my
is.
class, the first round, I raised my prices about $100 for the second round because after I saw like how much work went into it, I was like, oh no, $300 is not enough for what and I still haven't even like finished my total like count of how many hours, like the last time I counted, which it's different. But like content, it's like 10, 11, maybe even 12
you mean hours of the actual course?
Yeah. And so, when I just saw how much work went into it, which I knew there was going to be a lot of work, but I grossly underestimated exactly how much. But, I know how hard it is for people to spend that kind of money right now.
Right.
And so I just want to like try and, find ways to like, if that isn't in the cards, but you really, really want to learn in that kind of format, I want to hopefully, give you enough to get started. And yeah, maybe even an upgrade option. If you try the cheaper one and you're like, oh, okay, this really did help. I want all the other stuff. Maybe then they can
talking about upgrade options. That was something that one of my students asked me this time around. They're like, I got the tier 1 option. So for those of you listening, the courses, ours are modeled the same.
Right.
So a tier 1 means you get access to the course, but that's all. Like you are self-teaching yourself. If you have a question, you submit it via email.
Right.
And then we help you that way. Tier 2 means you have bonus material in your student portal, and you also get access to the Facebook group where we go live and we answer questions.
I don't go live.
Well,
she goes live.
But in the Facebook group, it's more like it's like a live interaction. I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a handful of students ask, "Hey, I only got tier 1 first time. Can I pay the difference?" And I was like, "You want to do that? Sure. I gotta figure it out. Then we'll make it happen." You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. You mentioned that I had those doodles made for the course.
Did you not even include them in the course?
Oh, I did. See, guys, I was so obsessed with making it visually easy to understand that I did. I commissioned an artist to draw things specifically the way that I wanted it drawn. So that I could make sure that we were communicating. Like I invested.
Right.
Anyhow.
Yeah. It was worth it though.
Yeah,
it's because
I'm so proud of it.
We care. We care about how it looks. We care that people understand it. We care that people are interested.
Right.
So it's all of those things.
Yeah.
We care. We care about the people.
We care so much we made a studio.
Right.
Like, and
come on, like how freaking cool.
This is the best. This is my favorite. I love the lights.
One more thing about the courses. Your course, people have access to it for the life of
the course. So,
right? So don't be intimidated, because you were saying like it's more of a master course. Yeah. And there's all this stuff. Don't be intimidated.
You don't have to do it all
because you don't have to do it all at once. You can take it at your own pace.
A little bit one time.
That's gonna be your new tag, your new slogan. So don't get intimidated if you want to take the course and you're like, oh, well, I think I need some more time on my laser. More, you don't sign up for the course, take the course, and take it one step, a little bit at a time,
a little bit one time,
and then before you know it, you're finished with the course.
Well, and a lot of people would comment in the Facebook group and they'd be like, oh, life got away from me, and this got in the way, and I didn't get to do the course how I wanted to. Which same. fine. It happened to us as well. But they're like, oh, can I go back? Can I join, this round while they're going through the course? And it's there for them. I keep telling them, as long as I'm doing the course, you can go back.
Right.
And if I ever stop one day, because you just never know, like, where life's going to take you. If I ever stop one day, they'll have plenty of time to download it
everything.
all and have it, with them to always refer back to. So don't worry that, if this week you can't do it because someone got sick or maybe you had too many orders, which is an amazing reason to not be able to do the course.
Yep.
So
I've had several students with that issue. I'm like, that's a good problem.
Right. It's a good problem.
Like, just know enough to make what you're making, and then we'll learn some more later.
And
it's all
just, if you're in that spot, familiarize yourself with the outline of the course. And so that way, if you're working on something and now you need to know about tumblers more, you go to the tumblers module or lesson or, those kind of things where it's like, okay, maybe I'm not all the way to module 4, but you can jump to module 4 and cover that lesson if it's like, covers a project that you're doing, or, you need to do full wrap tumblers, or, just whatever, like, depending on the project. Like mine, I have, like, keychains and cake toppers and signs, and maybe you didn't watch the cake topper one because, JR, don't do that. Thank you, baby.
Good.
You've been amazing. But maybe you haven't made any cakes. Maybe you haven't made any cake toppers yet, or you didn't plan to, so you skipped the cake topper lesson. Well, now you can go back and watch the cake topper lesson because maybe you have a cake topper, order that you need to fill. So it's there when you're ready, if you want it, and don't worry about it not happening in...
Well, you know what else is kind of fun, though? Like you were mentioning, here's the thing. So new people are going to be joining the course.
Yeah.
And if you fall behind, you get to join in if you want to with this new cohort that's like really excited, right? It's always the brand new cohort that's like gung-ho. And then over time, it kind of like, life happens. But if that's you and you're already in the course, you kind of just jump in with the new cohort and you kind of feed off of their energy to finish the course, which is also a perk if you have a tier 2 enrollment.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So
now back to how awesome this podcast is.
I just wanted to ask you guys, how does it feel to do a podcast interview in your new studio? Like, what's this,
it's still, like, I keep...
surreal.
Yeah.
Because it was, this was in our head for the longest time of what it was going to look like, how we were going to do it. And then it was happening, and it's okay, it's cool. And things started coming in, and we started putting it together. And now to be in here and like talking to you in person, so recording cool. It's
right. Are you going to have your future guests? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Are you going to have your future guests also record video?
So we're going to leave it up to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to, as someone who's doesn't love being on camera, I wanted to leave that up to them.
Yeah.
Because, I didn't want to not have a guest because they weren't comfortable being on camera.
Right.
So it's my script that I send people now is that, we're going to be video recording. And so if you want to join us on video record, by Zoom or whatever we use, you can. If not, audio is perfectly fine. And then we will be, obviously, on video, and then we'll just have like their picture or something. And
talking about the new podcast. I'm a little jealous that I don't have a bedazzled.
I know, it's the first thing. This was the first thing she noticed when she walked in, when she saw the sneak peek, because it wasn't finished yet. We've done a lot since then. At the boys' party, and she was like, "Did you bedazzle this yourself?" And I'm like, absolutely.
like you bedazzled your gas mask.
Yeah,
I didn't do that. That I actually had done.
Okay.
Yeah, that I sent that one off and
sent that to
had
the pros.
that done. Yeah, I had it done by a pro.
But she's been talking about what can I like bedazzle since we started the podcast.
Yeah,
really.
Even so that used to be the mic that you have is the mic that I used to have, and I'm like, there's nothing for me to bedazzle on here. Like there wasn't space, and then we got these mic stands, and I was like, that's happening. So so I bedazzled it, and I love it.
You're gonna show like a close up of this, aren't you?
Yeah. It's in my reveal video.
Oh,
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make you one, but
and obviously,
you really?
yeah.
Obviously, for local people,
pay me because it takes forever.
You got it.
We'll try to get
Special
local people
order.
on in person. You know, whenever we interview local
speaking
people.
of, we have scheduled the Eon Techs for
Have you?
an in-person.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy
in
party.
September.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy one.
Who?
So Aspen Miller
Yeah.
is
Oh, I
coming.
love her.
She friended me on Facebook, and I fangirled a little bit because I was like, I wanted to friend her, but I was like, and then she
Do you
friended me. And I was
remember the
like,
first time she showed up at my place?
Yeah, you died. Yeah,
She's
it was so
like,
great.
so cool.
Yeah. And so she's coming, and EJ is coming.
They're all coming
and
now?
David is coming.
I am crashing this party.
And Jamie is
Oh.
coming as well.
They're all going to be here at the same time?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I will just sit quietly in the corner like...
Well, and we told him, I was like, we should
gonna
host
be-
them like afterwards, like, hey, like have, drinks or dinner
Hang out
or
and-
whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be like
my goodness.
a
gonna be a whole
mini
thing.
Eon
This is gonna
party
be amazing.
at
It's gonna be a
the
whole
Rather
thing.
Black
It's a whole
Project
thing.
Studio.
It's totally happening.
And I messaged Danny and I was like, did you know that your crew is going to be on the podcast for an in-person interview? And then he was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And I was like, and Jamie's coming too. And he goes, oh shit, she has no filter. He's like,
So you think you heard about secrets today?
He goes, I'm going to need to listen to that before it airs.
Well, he should be listening to all of them, but it's okay.
Right?
It's okay.
Yeah.
He does.
And I don't know if she'll actually be on because we only have like so many microphones and stuff.
Right.
Sorry, we can rotate them in and out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I can bring mine.
Hey, well, there's only 4 holes.
Okay, fine.
4 holes. We only have 4 holes.
Okay.
Only 4 holes.
But it's all right. We were thinking of having like a stick mic.
Yeah,
Okay.
that can
They just,
easily
like,
be passed
rotate.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, that's
it'll be-
in
I'm totally there.
September.
I'm inviting myself.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't lock me out.
We
Totally.
have a live studio audience.
Right?
It's gonna be like that.
We'll put
what's
you
that
in
TikTok?
that little chair over there.
The TikTok that you did with the kids on the other side of the door, but it'll
Oh
be
my
me.
God, yes, totally.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, which,
We're gonna
man,
TikTok after this, right?
Of course.
I know we can't
Yeah.
get together and not TikTok
No,
now. Like it's totally
it's
a
so
thing.
funny because now, like
Big
in the
TikTok.
beginning, she'd be like, "Can we do a TikTok?" And I'm like, "Fine, Emily, we can do a TikTok." Like we did a freaking TikTok with Jackson, who was like a week old on our way to like
when you
the
came
doctor
over.
appointment. Yeah, which is so crazy to look back at that one. Like I remember feeling like a brand new
I'm
human.
gonna go watch that one now after this.
Right? Nostalgic.
I love watching the behind the scenes of the ones you guys did up front.
Oh,
'Cause
when
the camera
he
was
recorded like
Oh, we should post
porch
that.
cameras. We totally should. Yeah, throwback. And I knew those cameras were there, and I was like, he's totally going to be
You know
watching
what?
and making fun of us.
When these apps or like when TikTok showed up, like I got my YouTube group down,
Yeah.
I got the Facebook group down. Again, little bit one time.
Right.
Yeah.
Little for one time.
So TikTok comes along and it's this beast that I really don't know what
my
to do
gosh.
with, right? But then I have gradually,
Yeah.
taken on the app, and here's what I have found I like about both TikTok and Instagram, like
Yeah.
because I use the content in the same way on both
Right.
of those platforms.
Yeah.
I really like how that has allowed me to connect with my audience and let them see me in a different way.
Well,
Because on
your
YouTube,
personality.
On
Yeah.
YouTube, it's like, this is the lesson and here's how we're
Right.
going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, it's like you're typing and it's
Right.
messages.
Mhm.
But
Right.
here, I'm like, you'll notice there's
Our
there's a
goofy
theme to the kind of
personality.
songs
Yeah, exactly.
and the sounds that I like to use.
Right.
You know, and then my personality shows there. So I feel like I get to show them another side
Agreed.
of me that
Yeah.
they didn't know.
Which gave me a lot of anxiety in the beginning because it's like, are these people, am I going to annoy these people? And then when I got so much feedback of like, even people who are not in the laser industry, his coworkers have been like, oh my
that's
God, I
crazy.
found your page and I love all your funny reels. And I was like,
Yeah.
really? Like it just, like it was both like exciting and cringy at the same time. I'm like, oh my God, your coworker, like your reporters are like watching my goofy reels while I'm running around like an idiot. But I mean, when I saw so many people loved that part of it, it was like, oh, okay.
It's not so bad.
They
Right.
like,
You know.
they like the true me, which
Yeah.
is good. And it's like, I don't, I'm terrible at like faking, lying, or acting. And so like, I just don't have to because they like, who I am and the goofy me and,
Right.
and all of that, which is
But,
great that you
also,
can show that side.
There's also like a vulnerable side of it too.
Totally.
Because
Very.
like, okay, so if there's a good salsa song on,
yeah.
and I'm in my office and I want to dance to a salsa song,
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Right.
But then, you have haters that are like, oh, you're dancing.
right.
Like, ew.
Salsa and
clearly
lasers.
you don't belong on my
Right.
page.
Right. You're not our
that's
people.
the remembering that, like, yeah,
You know?
you're not our people. You're not for me.
Right.
And
Right.
it's okay if we're not for you
Correct.
as well. But you can just exit quietly.
Yeah.
You don't have.
But no,
like,
people
what do
don't
they say
exit quietly
No.
on the
what is it?
internet.
That this isn't an airport. You do not need to announce your departure.
Everybody
just,
be announcing their
yeah.
departure.
Get bye.
Yeah.
Boom.
So-
Get the fuck out.
Anyhow, but I kind of like that about the app because I'm a firm believer that we attract what we are and we
Yes.
repel what we're not.
Right.
So when I showed up on those apps, like again, I'm
Yeah.
showing more of my personality and people really get to see, is this somebody who I really want to like
Right.
Right.
journey along with or not? And so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
talking about the different types of, platforms and how they serve you.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's overwhelming because you feel like you have to do it all.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
well, we were just saying, Heather just messaged us the other day and she was like, oh my God, Etsy has like the stories thing too.
Etsy has stories?
You can't hear that.
Stop.
Yeah, it's fine.
They have like
He's been quiet
they
this
have
long.
the similar things of like the short
Stop.
videos and stuff.
No.
And she was like, I cannot add one more thing.
But
and it's like
I bet there's a whole other culture to it now, too.
probably,
Like,
yeah.
why'd you have to tell me this?
Now she's
I
gonna
mean,
go
Why'd you have
on.
to
listen,
tell me this? Wait,
Mom, she said this in our group chat.
it didn't register?
So I didn't
And
tell
you-
you. Heather told you. And my response when Heather told us was, we've already talked about this.
Oh, we have?
Yes. Welcome to the group chat with Heather and Mom, as we call her, because this is all the time. She'll ask a question. We're like, yeah, we talked about that last week, Mom. And she's like, we did. What did we say?
I'm so grateful that you guys, I don't know how you guys put up with me, but I love you guys to death for it. Oh my gosh.
We have to give you shit and make fun of you.
Oh,
that's
man.
that's our coping mechanism for
Yeah,
dealing
it helps
with
me
Mom.
laugh at myself too. You
Yeah.
know? I love it.
Yeah.
But that's reserved for the group chat.
Yeah.
Just a little insight.
No
just a little
screenshots
insight.
allowed.
So funny.
But yeah, like there's so many
Mom.
things. And so you just kind of have to, and Heather and I have both realized that like TikTok is not like where we feel like most comfortable. It's
Yeah.
not where we tend to get the views or the watches and the likes and all that stuff. And so I'm focusing more on just the reels because that's where I'm more comfortable. That's where I seem to get the greatest feedback. If I think about it, I'll post one of them from Instagram to, TikTok.
Yeah.
But and both Heather and I have stopped doing a lot of the draft ones actually, because even you were saying that you want to do more of those.
Oh,
But
yeah.
For Heather and I, what we've realized is that as soon as it gets into my drafts, which I love them sometimes, but a lot of times what happens is I then tend to overthink it. And now I'm like, I wish I would have done that differently, or I don't love that outtake, or I
These
don't
two
love
with
that
the
timing.
overthinking.
You too. You do it
I
to
was gonna
these.
say-
Whatever.
Yeah.
This is the
Say.
moment where you guys are overthinking.
But like, so what happens is by the time we're like maybe ready to post one of the reels in our drafts,
Yeah.
we either feel like it's outdated or we don't love it anymore or whatever.
I don't care. I've gotten
And
to
so-
the point where I'm like,
well,
I'd
and
rather
so
have
we-
something to post than nothing at all
Well, and
because
so
I want
what-
the algorithm
yeah.
to think I'm
Right.
consistent.
Right.
So I have. I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up because I have gotten to a point where I'm not caring as much
Yes.
about the reel or TikTok
Right.
doing well.
Yes.
I'm caring more about consistency.
Right. Yeah.
Because the algorithm likes likes that.
Yeah, it does. Well, and what I was saying is that we turn it around into like the one that you tagged Heather and I in the other day.
Did I tag you correctly?
Yeah, you did. She likes to tag my personal Facebook. So if she ever tags my personal Facebook and you send a request, I'm not approving it because it's my personal page, not my business.
Listen, Linda, you need one account.
I can't.
More than one is too much for me.
I have a million pieces of my business and they can't all go together. Okay. But we were saying how now that when we make one, we post it. Mm-hmm. We don't really care what time it is.
Yeah.
But like if it's a good time to post, if it's a bad time to post, we're like if it's and that's great for like. That's what works for you. Yeah. And so we have to find like what works for us. And if it means we post something rather than not posting anything at all, we post it. And if that's 1:00 in the afternoon or if that's 11:00 at night, you know, she asked me the other day, she's like, have you ever done any like really late posts? And I was like, yeah. And they've actually done pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's because
if you look at the analytics, people are night owls.
That's when I'm scrolling. So I'm not surprised that that's when other people are scrolling as well.
Bed.
So
this is my new rhythm. When I'm consistent. Okay. I post in the morning by like 7 a.m.
Oh.
Yes. Because then it has the whole day to like show up on people's like
and my
FYP.
brain says it has the whole day
You'd
for
be surprised.
people to miss it.
A lot of people
because you posted it too early.
No. I'm surprised at how well the early morning ones do. But I do it intentionally because I don't want to have to stop and think about it later on in the day in my workflow. So I do it in the morning and get it out of the way. Mm-hmm. And then I do it at bedtime when like my little girl, I have to sit in her rocking chair until she falls asleep.
That's a good time.
And, you know, I'm just like...
Yeah.
In the dungeon in a corner.
Yeah. My times are after breakfast when we're still sitting at the table. Mm-hmm. And then before I go pick up Jackson from daycare. Mm-hmm. So like early afternoon.
Yeah.
And then
lunchtime is a good time on TikTok.
And then Instagram. So our breakfast is basically lunchtime for most people.
Well, so like 11, 12. Yeah.
10 between 10 and 12 is when the after breakfast one tends to be posted. And then 9:00 at night after the kids are bed, because that's just what it works for me. And even if, say, I was telling Heather, even if 7:00 was the good time for me to post, it's not happening because that's when dinner craziness is going on. And it's like that, it's just not going to work for me. So you do the best you freaking can. Yeah. And what works for you, just because that's what the influencer says you should do, or what your friend says you should, like, do what works for you. And just consistency really is the most important part with any of the business, with social media, with social media.
Social media.
Yeah. So I don't know that we've asked you this on the other episodes.
What?
And I didn't really prepare you for this, but it's not a crazy question. Don't get scared. If you have any advice for a new or struggling laser owner, what would that be? So that's what we're asking all the guests this year. So oh, is Mom going to cry?
No.
Okay.
No.
I wonder how many times I've said that during this episode.
That's a good question.
Like, think back to when you were new. What do you wish you knew in the beginning that you know now?
You know what? I do. I'm going to rewind. I'm going to try not to go over time here with this. Okay? Because I feel like you're talking about somebody right now. Okay? Yeah. I feel like I'm going to take this backwards before I take it forward. All right? Okay. But I feel like the rhetoric right now in the laser community is one that I reject. Yes. I despise it. I really can't stand it.
The doom and gloom.
It's this rhetoric that there's a recession coming and you got to be prepared and you got to know how to pivot and you got to, pinch your pennies and costs are going up. It's all this negative noise. Excuse me. Yeah. Ooh. And if you are brand new, here's what I want to tell you. Don't listen to the noise. Okay? Why? We're entrepreneurs. Right. Okay? These are the moments that we are made of. 3 years ago when we were starting our laser journey, we had no idea that there was a pandemic around the corner. And what happened? We thrived. Yeah. While people were losing jobs, we were finding ways to make money. People were selling S-hooks and cutting fabric to make masks. Right. And they were making...
That's a good point.
Those acrylic barriers and selling them to businesses. They were even making... I mean, they made so many things with their lasers to support the pandemic. Yeah. This is a time that people think people are not going to be buying. People were buying more gifts than, all of a sudden stay-at-home kits became like the thing because everybody was staying at home. Right. So if there's a recession coming and you're afraid, nah, you change your mindset, okay? Bring it. Yeah. Okay? Thank God that we're entrepreneurs and we're the kind of people that know how to pivot. Right. Thank goodness that we have these extremely powerful machines that give us limitless opportunities to make products and sell things.
Well, so, we had Robert on last week who was like, this is a time when actually businesses amp up advertising because they need more customers.
Not to mention.
And how many things can we make for a company that is advertising for them, you know? And they may not even know that these kinds of materials or items exist. When you walk in with a fancy, the blinds guy, he didn't probably know that engraved keychains were like a thing that he could buy for his business. And he and he did. So, it's those little things that and that only is then turning around and giving him something that he can give to his customer to then wow them and to tell their friends and oh, look, I just had my blinds done and I got this fancy little keychain from the dude. And, so
that's my message. If don't let people instill fear in you. Yes. Okay. You get ready to dominate and kill it. Not to mention the busiest season is coming. Sure, things are slow, but things are always slow in the summer. That's nothing new.
People aren't gonna not give Christmas presents. Yeah, the price level might change or their budget might change, but they're not gonna give nothing.
Correct. So I just reject the noise because it's BS, okay? Yeah. That's my message to the brand new person. And I don't care if you have a diode. I don't care if you have a Trotec. You hustle. All you need, guys, and it's funny because people always say, well, you need to have a business plan before you get a laser. I failed that. I failed that if that was the requirement. You know what you need to have? You need to have grit. You need to have ambition. Drive. And you need to have courage. That's it. Yeah. You don't need a plan. Yep. This may be unpopular opinion. I may get some flack for this. Right. But I can name. I will lose fingers if I tried to name how many people have become 6-figure businesses. Right. With zero and didn't have a plan. Right. In the laser industry. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my message. Don't listen to the noise.
I was going to jump on those fingers, but we're not 6 figures yet.
Someone just I was telling her in I think it was in that Mom with the Laser group. Talking about paying off their house.
They paid off their house.
By saving the proceeds for 2 years. And now the husband's thinking of quitting his job and having their laser company.
This is an ongoing story.
It's great. I can't wait to become that story.
We've had a lot of those stories. We've had a lot of stories where the spouse has left work and they work together. Yes. And it's just been incredible.
I just did those. I mean, I didn't do it. She designed the design of that tumbler. Yeah. But I put it in the machine.
Is our test tumbler.
It was. And I was teaching my feet into lasers.
We did tumblers together. He turned on the machine. He helped me take out the crumb tray and take out the blades and hooked it up and
defocus. Is it focus or defocus?
Well,
whatever.
Depends on the application.
With that little thingy, with the little thing, with the little steps.
The focus gauge.
Yeah. And I was
I love it.
And I told him about I warned him about collisions. Yeah. I'm if it starts to go all haywire, I was you hit the emergency button on the side.
You know you've come a long way when your laser has a collision and you don't have a panic attack.
So I haven't hit that point yet, and I'm okay if I don't. But I called it the rite of passage, your first collision. And then when it happens, you're oh shit, yeah. And mine happened when 2 of my out of town friends were in town. So I'm trying to finish a project really quick, and then all of a sudden there's this horrible grinding noise, and I'm oh my god,
oh my goodness,
yeah, awful. Yeah. But in a panic, I turned off the machine instead of emergency stop, and which they both kind of worked. Yeah. And then I didn't know how to. I knew I couldn't turn the laser back on because it homes. It goes, and it moves. And if it moves in its current state, there's going to be more damage. And yes, I remember panicking and asking you how to lower the bed manually and what do I do. And
I'll just never forget the moment that I really had a bad collision.
Yeah.
And instead of getting scared, because before, when that would happen, my whole body would shake. Like I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And then worried about
you think you just damaged a really, really, really freaking expensive
a whole
piece
lot
of
of
machine.
things. You've got orders, your time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the first time that I had a bad collision, and instead of getting scared, I got so angry. I was like, you know better!
Right, exactly.
No!
Yeah. So now it means, shit, now I gotta square the laser head. I might have to align my mirror. Like, you get mad at what you have to do to fix it and that you knew better, but
you backed yourself up and slowed down and you're like, So, anyhow. Yeah. That's another tip for the newbie. It will happen.
Yeah. It's just
it's fixable. No, you did. I say this all the time in the course. No, you did not break your laser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most everything is fixable. Even fires. Like, I mean, don't have a fire, but like if you have them, even a fire is not the end of the world.
2 Christmases ago, a guy named Tony, remember?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He had his laser in another room, and he admitted that he had not been cleaning it. It was well overdue for cleaning.
Right.
Caught on fire during the weeds at Christmas time.
Yeah.
I thought it was done.
Right.
No more laser, you know?
Yeah.
In 72 hours, Eon sent out text to him. He had his laser back up and running, and he was selling ornaments.
Right.
I was like, well, if that can happen, then you've got to do a lot to break your laser.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, and how about the time that you broke yours as they were already on their way to my house, and you were like, great, because I need them to come.
Can you make a pit stop on the way over here? Well, because I
learned from Emily. I learned and almost did the exact same thing. But if you trip your sensor to get better content without the lid being closed, you remember to move the thing that you tricked the sensor with.
So here's the thing. I should have, because you can trip the sensor so you can record with the laser.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wear your glasses. Don't ever do that. But anyhow, I was using a big thick magnet instead of my little...
Well, and so that's thankfully when I did it, he stopped me. He was like, no. And then like I did it anyway, but thankfully it was the thin magnet, so I didn't break anything. And there was like a little bit of a gap.
Can I make a confession?
Oh God.
So I have used those big thick magnets for years.
Yeah.
I have closed my laser on them more than once. But it never broke. So that one time that it happened,
of course,
it was finally my laser being like, "Damn it, woman!
Right? Like
you should have not done this. Like
I gave you enough warning to get it together, and you didn't listen."
So what ended up happening was the hinge got caught on the magnet, and then I broke the lid off.
Yeah.
The glass didn't break, but the lid was all like
wonky. Yeah, she couldn't close it at all, and
she was in the middle of the course.
Easy
fix. It was an easy fix. Eon sent me the little these new hinges that they have, and bing bong boom, there it was. It was ready to go.
Yeah. See, so don't be scared. Even if you break it, it's fixable.
So where can people find you?
I am everywhere.
I mean, I'm sure everyone knows. Okay. Everyone's already following you. But.
All right. These days, I spend most of my time in the Facebook group. That's like my virtual home, right? So that Mom with a Laser community. I know it's long. All right. Whatever.
And it's not only for moms with lasers.
It isn't. It's for everybody. But it's only for people who are nice.
True. If you aren't nice, you're out.
Okay, so that Mom with a Laser community, and then on YouTube you can find me. You can find my tutorials, and I know it's pretty, inactive right now, but now that the course has been recorded, you're gonna see a lot of new stuff coming up on the YouTube channel.
And you have an editor.
Well, hello. That's what you brought it up, and then we got sidetracked.
Yeah.
But would it be possible for you to come and record? I have a lot of really cool things showing up.
Everything is possible.
Yes.
We just got to coordinate.
Everything is possible.
Yeah, everything is possible. And if you if you guys have video that needs to be edited and wants to
so he's
send it to us.
Support John's dream of now working from home, and that is
the Riley Black Media Group to come.
Yeah. To edit right now, other people's content who don't have time or the desire or the skill and he'll be that person to do it for you.
That's like a dream come true.
You record it on your end, and then we'll figure out a way.
Video editing takes forever
to get it to me.
And John's really good at it too.
And, thank you. Yeah, so you can record the video yourself. We'll figure out in conversation. We'll figure out the best way to get it to me, and for me to get it back to you, or I can post. You give me passwords.
I'm gonna interject here though. they better put in soon, because once I start getting ready to ramp up content, I'm not going to want to share.
There it is.
You might be the personal that mom with the laser.
and I'm like
goals.
And
right?
unlike Emily's,
right?
Unlike Emily's one-on-one, this won't be free.
Yes. Right, yeah.
Because free don't pay the bills.
I mean, if you're local, like Mindy wants you to come over and like actually like record it for us. So if you're local in South Florida.
Yeah, or if
we'll
you're
show up at your house.
If you're soon to be local Heather.
Yeah.
You know, we can
soon to be local Heather. I love it.
We can do stuff. So
awesome.
Do all the things.
So the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and then if you want to laugh at me on TikTok,
right?
Because I'm a goofy girl.
Yeah.
So that's where I get to be fun, and so I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram.
Yeah. At that mom with a laser.
Yep.
Or
thatmomwithalaser.co, not .com. Okay, make sure you put in the .co one day, but today is not the day.
But yeah.
I'm sure they're smart enough to figure out why that .co is.
Oh my gosh, they are.
Yeah.
Why did I say that?
It's all right.
We can cut it out.
It doesn't matter.
No, it's okay.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. I've had people message me about it.
Oh yeah, totally. Of course.
It's time.
Those bastards.
Shh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Focus. We have to wrap this up because we have to make TikToks before you go home.
We
do. We gotta get you out of here on time. So be sure to follow the Riley Black Designs on YouTube, because that's where these episodes will be put up.
Look for Riley Black Designs. It'll be on my already established YouTube, but there will be a playlist for all of the Riley Black Project episodes. So check it out there.
Right,
subscribe.
and if you want the show early, remember there's Patreon.
Yeah, so Patreon.
Subscribe.
This will be live for the patrons on Friday, so they'll get to anybody who subscribes to Patreon. They can listen to the audio or the video. What is that? 4 days earlier, so they get it Friday, and everybody else gets it Monday.
Right. Okay.
So even our patrons, they'll see all of this before everybody else.
Right.
So yeah. They'll be pushing that this week.
They'll know the bit at the end before everybody else.
Right, yeah. You watch the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
It's been another...
This was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was great.
Guys.
It was fun.
I'm so glad. I'm coming back.
Yes?
Yes.
You can't get rid of me.
We don't want to.
I love your studio.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is only the beginning.
Whenever you have anything to announce, hit us up.
You got it.
We'll squeeze you in.
Yeah,
I do. I have a couple of things. Not right now. We'll save it for
but for sure. And that's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project. I'm Crystal and John.
Bye.
Bye.
Mamie, we're all done.